who's Messi? Like, oh, I'm not scared of him. Like, whatever. We're going to lock him down. Have you seen our defense? Whatever. They lose 2-0.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Washed Athlete Podcast and another episode of This Week in Sports. After a week off, we are back to break down all the sports stories in the recent 2 weeks, but we're kind of just talking about the next week and the week coming up in sports. So we're going to get right into it. We're the Washed Athlete Podcast. If you like what you're seeing here, make sure you drop a subscribe. Go check out our other content. We have a podcast every week where we just talk about life, kind of our life in college and whatnot. These are just our sports episodes. So if you like this, you might like some of our other stuff, and we have a bunch of other previous episodes that you might be into. But we like to start off just right off rip, World Cup update. So we didn't talk last time. We talked about the U.S. playing the Netherlands, and then we haven't recorded in a week. So now we're at the finals. Argentina versus France for the championship game. Morocco and Croatia will be playing the third place game. No one cares about the third place game. I don't personally. I might watch it, but I don't care. So we're not going to talk about that. What we are going to talk about is Argentina versus France. And ultimately, I'm just asking you for your predictions and if you have any analysis beyond that. So who do you think is going to win?
France is going to win 2-1.
I want Argentina to win solely because of Messi, but I think France is going to win.
I think France is going to win. All right.
The fan favorite winner, Argentina. Statistical winner, France.
France, yeah. Because, I feel like at this point, almost every single soccer fan is rooting for Argentina solely because, almost all of, the old guard of soccer of, Ronaldo, Neymar, Modric from Croatia, and, of course, I don't know enough about soccer to name all the other ones, but there's, kind of this whole thing where it's almost like their last dance, and no one else was able to make it to the finals. And Messi is he's arguably the greatest of all time. But I think if he wins this World Cup, I don't think there's an argument to be made anymore. I think he is probably the undisputed greatest soccer player of all time. If he wins
you forgot about Harry Kane.
Oh, yeah, Harry Kane that loves sending missiles back to England.
Get her in there, England!
Get her in. Yeah, so it's not coming home, although the soccer ball, I think, currently is landing in England.
Yeah, probably right now, yeah.
Probably right about now, but yeah.
You just saying that made me think, I think we're very fortunate because this World Cup, shows how great Messi is. Every time he touches the ball, the announcers are talking about it. And every time he's doing so, it has been, honestly, great that he's played a lot while we've been alive, but specifically this time watching, it's I have the appreciation for the greatness. We talk about the appreciation of greatness for LeBron James and other athletes, Tom Brady, one of them, and Lionel Messi's right up there where every time he's touching the ball. I mean, Ronaldo's not playing for Portugal, and Messi's out here, and I don't really know all the reasons behind that, but
I think it's just that Ronaldo's he's 4 or 5 years older. Or something like that. He is significantly older, but...
and Messi is just every single time he touches the ball.
Oh, he's doing the Messi thing. Yes. Okay.
Every single time he touches the ball, people are talking about it, and it's everything around this World Cup is centered around Messi, and you just show how much gravitas he has towards this game, and it's absolutely insane.
And I do love that he is going on kind of a villain arc right now, and I am all for it. I absolutely love it. I love that the Netherlands was trash talking the living hell out of them before that game. There was someone that went around at the World Cup and was asking people from the Netherlands where they're it was are you scared of Messi? And they're who's Messi? Oh, I'm not scared of him. Whatever. We're going to lock him down. Have you seen our defense? Whatever. They lose 2-0.
Yeah.
But it's, I did see, I forget who this was, but they did, when someone asked about who the greatest soccer player of all time is well, with it has to be Messi because with other soccer players, it's you can see, it's they are reminiscent of soccer players beforehand. But if you were to just see the silhouette of Messi playing, you could know that that's Messi because there's no one else that can do what he does.
No, he's insane. And he had that play against who did they just beat?
Croatia. Where he threaded the needle between the...
and he did the thing where he got to the end and he shook one way, came back inside and just schooled the guy, easy pass to Julian Alvarez, and then he just put it away.
Who's arguably one of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah.
They just completely shook him, got around, crossed right to the middle. Dude had an easy
Alvarez
shot
just
goal.
Put it away. So I'm taking the opposite approach. I think Argentina is going to beat France 2-0.
I hope so. I hope so.
My favorite. I want Argentina to win.
But I think France is just so good.
As a future soccer player.
Did you guys see the dude who made that parlay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
$52 to win like 755,000 or something. It's absolutely insane.
It's for Argentina or France to win.
France.
Yeah.
Just imagine all the comments if France loses. All the comments, oh, whatever the bettor's name. What happened?
What happened?
Why didn't you cash out at 81,000?
You should have cashed out.
Yeah.
Literally.
But watching those games, France is very vulnerable in the middle of the field. They had a lot of pressure by Morocco towards the end of the game. Morocco had a lot of great chances off crossbar, tough saves. They just couldn't put them away. Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez will put those shots away like 9 times out of 10. And I just watched the pressure Morocco put on France, and I watched the pressure that England put on France after France had taken the lead in that game. And I mean, Harry Kane was a PK away from tying that game up and going to OT. I think Argentina, wins this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's like France is talented, but like they've been close to losing these 2 games back to back. I mean, that game goes to OT against England. Who knows what happens? And it very well could have. I mean, they were a PK away from doing so. And England still had all this pressure on them for the rest of the game. So France is really going to pull out. They just got a player back. Real Madrid just gave the rights that he could go to Qatar to play. I don't know.
Oh.
It's like Bregman or something. I don't know how good he is. I don't know if it's going to have a factor into it, but I think Argentina is going to do it, and I think
God, I hope so.
And I mean, I want to for the sport. I talk about I like to see great players win rings and stuff like that. I think it's good for the sport, so I think it'd be really good for FIFA if Lionel Messi got this, and it'll be his last World Cup, and that'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
And then sets up the narrative great for 4 years later when Argentina's in the World Cup again. Like, what can they do without Messi?
Exactly.
And that's really cool. That's a really cool narrative.
Yeah.
But kind of backtracking, we're gonna talk about the U.S. falling to the Netherlands a little bit. It was a tough game to watch.
It was a tough game. Although the Netherlands were stupid good this year.
Yeah.
I think our coaching is, to put it bluntly, dumb.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
We literally fell directly into the trap of the Netherlands, which was they're just going to sit back and wait for you to push, and then they're just going to counter. And then they did exactly that and scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
So it's like if I can tell that that's happening and I don't watch soccer, you need to fix something.
Yeah.
And it also sucks because we don't really have a true striker to put some goals away. But
yeah. I'm happy with how the U.S. performed.
Oh, no, absolutely.
They had a good opportunities that game. They didn't put shots away, and they got destroyed on counterattacks, marking in the back. But I think they showed that they're more than talented enough to make the round of 16 for next year's World Cup and future World Cups. So now it's about, hey, how do we get out of that first round?
We need to
and how do we compete?
Players.
And we really need a striker. I mean, you see guys like, we just talked about Messi, Alvarez for Argentina, Mbappe. They're putting shots away. They're constantly putting pressure on the goal. We're not ever putting pressure on that goal in that front.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see how the U.S. kind of finds that player because it's a glaring weakness. Everyone kind of talked about it. I also think our defense needs a lot of work. We have some no shots to the MLS guys, but we have some MLS guys running in the back 4, and I think they're going to need to be a little bit more talented coming up. They played some good games in the beginning, holding shutouts, but even in the final, I didn't like the way how Tim Ream and Zimmerman were pushing the ball up to the middle of the defense into the midfield. I just didn't really like how that was looking.
Exactly.
A lot of late shots, a lot of passes back to Matt Turner, who had to just boot it up the field and get rid of it. So, but I think overall it was a decent showing. I mean, we didn't qualify for the World Cup 4 years ago,
so this was a big tournament.
And then now we made the round of 16, and now I think it's all momentum forward for 2026, which is going to be in our home country.
Yeah. And I'd like to have everybody here make an agreement that we will put our kids into soccer. If they like it or not, whatever. But as long as they attempt soccer.
Oh,
yes.
Because, hey, at least we can try to get some more athletes into this.
Yeah.
If they end up playing football and they end up being really good, all right, fine. But you will play soccer.
I think soccer gets a really bad rap for the flopping and stuff. I don't think people understand. The Flyers are definitely flopping, but people are getting cleated or knocked in the shins or the knees.
The times where they're not flopping, it is bad.
Yeah, it hurt. You're taking metal hard plastic on knee content. It can be cold outside. You're running very fast. So sometimes they're definitely flopping, but people flop all the time.
You try to draw calls in anything you do.
I mean, there's the Bengals game where the player just went down and faked an injury.
Yeah. What's on a faked injury?
Outright wasn't hurt.
Or how many times do people flop in basketball?
Yeah.
That happens all the time.
So everyone's like, oh, they're such crybabies. And I'm like, they are, but some of their contact does look like it. Yeah.
There's no padding whatsoever, and you are getting metal cleats that is going through anything you have. That you are getting stabbed right now.
And people don't realize soccer, like you're so exhausted all the time. You see these players at the end of the game, they just like end up sitting down. They're so tired. They're running like 6-7 miles a game, sprinting, stopping, sprinting, stopping. There's like they're some of the most fit people on the planet, and like so like they're usually when they're getting hit, they're exhausted. So like it takes a second to get up because you're just also trying to like catch your breath because you just like sprinted down the whole entire length of the field just to get like just get hammered in the corner.
Yeah.
So, I think it's been cool. This World Cup's just been interesting, like really entertaining across the
Did you
board.
guys hear about the girl from
Croatia?
Morocco? No, it was
Or,
Morocco.
oh my god, I know who you're talking
She
about.
said something about Ronaldo was crying in his car. Then the soccer world collectively wanted Morocco to lose that game because of that girl.
Yeah, because I think she was saying something. It was during the Morocco-Portugal game.
Yeah.
And she was like making fun of Ronaldo. And then, yeah, you're right. The entire soccer world banded together for like the first time ever and just immediately started hating on Morocco solely for that reason.
Ronaldo's crying in his car.
Yeah, and then it's just like an edit of like Mbappe like, beating Morocco. It's like, what is happening? Like, it's the weirdest combination.
Yeah, it's been a super fun World Cup. So I just think collectively, think this is great momentum for 2026, and I think it's gonna be pretty lit. We need to make a pact to all like go to a game wherever we are across this country at that point in time.
I think about what would be
Lincoln Financial,
MetLife. Or MetLife.
Yeah, we need to like collectively like buy tickets early and all go no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice off the pod conversation, but making it happen on the pod. So we're gonna transition to football here. We'll talk about a little bit about the World Cup final next time, maybe. We'll see. So football. Wanted to give I can cross the Steelers off here because Jacob was not able to join us. But quickly,
Kenny Pickett got body slammed.
He did.
The Steelers look terrible.
Yeah. Concussion protocol. Pigeons are still moving on.
Quick update on our resident teams. Eagles update.
Still
all
good.
All good.
Giants are sliding because we literally have wide receiver 8 starting for us right now. Of course, the MetLife turf is claiming even more bodies every single day. So I have no idea.
For the Giants, though, it doesn't really seem like it's claiming any Jets players.
Oh no, Brees Hall towards ACL there.
Oh, I didn't know that was at home.
And the Jets lost like one of their best interior like offensive linemen. They lost like a bunch of guys. Their defense is still solid, but on the offense they lost a bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but So there's that, and we're in a must-win game against the Commanders, essentially, which is the
worst. You guys tie again.
The worst sentence I've ever said in my life.
And a must-win.
What's your record? 7-5-2.
7-5-1.
7-5.
Wait, 7-5-2.
I was gonna say, imagine you guys tie again, 20-20
or
something.
Because if we tie again, I think that like means they both get in. I think
that would most certainly be the first time in NFL history.
Yeah. I think you guys make a pact.
That would be really funny because then we would just like need the Seahawks essentially to lose out. But I think that would like end up working out like because it would be essentially your one game up because you have 2 ties.
Yeah,
we're at half a game. But
I'm feeling a Saquon legacy game.
It is. I believe it is in. I think it's in whatever FedEx.
FedEx Field,
the stadium where that's falling apart currently. Yeah, that one. And that's where Daniel Jones got his first win, I think.
It's going to be a Saquon legacy game.
My thing is like I would love to say that, but we don't have any receivers, so they just put 8 in the box, and there's nothing he can do.
It's going to be a Danny Dimes legacy game.
Yes, literally, because they just need to run a read option with Daniel Jones and Saquon and just do that.
Yeah,
and then just do a quick slant to Darius Slayton because that's the only receiver we have.
I should have picked up T.Y. Hilton.
Although this season has been better than any Giants fan could have hoped for, and it still is going better than they could have hoped for, it has to be frustrating to be like 6-1 or 6-0, 7-1 or whatever, and just so slowly start skidding.
I knew they were going to skid. They do that every year, and like,
but it's still frustrating.
It's so frustrating because it's injuries. It's like we proved at the beginning of the season we had all of our talent. We were good, and then we lost all of them. It's like, come on.
Yeah. But not much to say about the Eagles. Just
would you like to talk about the Cowboys, Justin?
Oh yeah, aren't you a Cowboys fan?
We have their game down on the schedule here.
Oh yeah,
so I can talk about them.
Your team.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about some of the games upcoming this week. Kind of talk about past results. It's a little bit later in like the week, obviously, so we're not gonna talk too much about like the past games. Bills versus Dolphins is like the first key game on this matchup because if people do not recall, the Dolphins won the first matchup, and now the Dolphins have been skidding a little bit. They got crushed by the 49ers and then crushed by the Chargers. So I don't know what this Dolphins team really is at this point. Tua had been playing great up to a certain point, and then now he's looked really bad the last 2 weeks.
The CTE finally caught up.
And then I don't know. Like, I just don't know what to think about this game.
It's a huge game because
Yeah.
of course the whole the meme is like, oh, I wish you were colder. Like it's fine. Like we don't care about the weather. They need to establish a run game very quickly because there's going to be a lot of snow there.
Who are they running? It's Jeff Wilson and
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, but I mean,
is it
you could
Chase
just.
Edmonds still there too?
But you could run some end sweeps with like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
so,
too.
like, they can figure it out. But like this is where
Waddle's actually hurt. So is Tyreek.
Mike
They're both
McDaniel.
questionable.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel needs to work a masterclass to beat because the
Mhm.
Bills, like they have slowly started to establish more of a run game, and I think their offensive line I think still is beat up.
But Josh Allen's not playing good either. His last couple games have been really bad.
That's
So-
all good. Devin Singletary carrying the team on his back.
Said no one ever.
This could be a James Cook coming out game for once.
Oh.
This could be it.
Could be it.
This could be it.
I mean, I'm gonna take the Bills to win this game, but
Actually, I'm smelling a Cole Beasley legacy game.
Oh, Cole Beasley! I forgot they signed him. They got the anti-vaxxer.
I was
back in
gonna say
there.
the unvaccinated legend.
Yeah.
Dude decided to unretire just because I
They
don't
were
know
good.
why he did.
Well, no, because he retired because of COVID, and then unretired because they don't care about.
He
him
was actually
anymore.
signed by the Bucks when they had no one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then he retired mid-season.
He was there for like 30 seconds, and he's like, "I don't want to do this." I was
Mm.
like, "Yeah, the Bills are decent. I'll go sign with
Yeah. But this is huge for the Dolphins, and Tua needs to have like a decent game. He's just
Mhm.
Needs to.
fallen apart the last two games.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if they lose this game, that's putting them in a worse position for the playoffs. While the Dolphins are skidding, however, both the Lions are just rising.
The
Oh, yeah.
Lions, I think, finally are legit.
Yes.
They
Like-
are horrifyingly good.
Like the first half of the season, their losses were like not blowouts or anything. They were high scoring.
Well, there was like one or two blowouts, but
Yeah.
like you'll get that every
Mhm.
once in a while. But like you're right, like they've always been like a solid team like this season, and I think finally they're starting to turn a corner, which is horrifying to think that the Lions might.
And didn't they just get John Mechie back? Is that
No, Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams.
My
yes.
pick for Rookie of the Year,
Oh
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
well he's got to have
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
well he's got to have a big turnaround.
Yeah.
These last
I thought
three games.
my sources told me he was coming back earlier than he
Yeah.
did.
Pierce is winning Rookie of the Year.
Maybe I don't know who's gonna win. offensive
Sauce
rating.
should win defensive, I think.
Sauce is gonna win. He's a like legit.
Jordan Davis.
Oh my god! But no, because Sauce is like he's like a taller Darrell Revis. At this
Oh yeah.
point.
Yeah, he's like one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's a rookie. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
The Lions versus Jets, huge game again.
Huge.
Because the Lions essentially need this win to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Same with the Jets.
And then the Jets also need to win this game for their playoff hopes. I believe it is
Do you
in.
think the Jets can cover Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown?
The Jets defense is good.
I don't know their backup D-backs. I just know Sauce.
Well, their defense overall is really
Okay,
good.
then they'll be fine to cover.
They're really good.
It's at MetLife.
It's that Jet Life.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm taking the
I'm
Lions.
taking the Lions too.
I'm taking the Lions.
So I wouldn't bet on the game though, because I could see the Jets.
Oh no, yeah. Because
DeAndre Swift legacy game.
DeAndre Swift legacy game. Yeah,
Would have been good in fantasy for the
Yeah,
beginning half of the
he'll
year for me.
finally find the end zone. Oh wait, no, because
Yeah.
they just put in Jamal Williams just to score the touchdown.
So
and they never
frustrating,
play
so
again.
frustrating.
He gets like 5 yards and 2 touchdowns
Yeah.
in the game.
And then another huge game is Cowboys versus Jaguars.
Travis Etienne legacy game.
There we go.
And for reasons people don't think, so the Cowboys, you might look at the record at 10-3, you might be like, that's really good. They just were in a dogfight with the Texans.
yeah,
And then the Jaguars are still on, and maybe we can make the playoffs run.
Trevor Lawrence is a dog. He
Yeah.
is confirmed to be a dog. It's
That
amazing.
stiff arm was crazy.
Not his trash talking, but it's just his
so
flag.
Or his hype speeches.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah,
Let's go have a good game. Let's show them what we're all about.
He could have motivated me to make a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take that from NFL memes.
You are just plagiarizing them left and right.
That's fun.
Oh my god,
I need material.
I need material.
So the Cowboys, they've had a lot of people talking. Like Micah Parsons is talking about why Jalen Hurts shouldn't be the MVP.
He's talking a lot.
He's talking a lot of shit. They're not focusing on the like. I think the Jaguars might come in here.
This is a definite trap game right here.
Mhm.
I don't even think it's a trap game. I think it's just outright. Like I think the Jaguars just might outright take it and win.
Christian Kirk legacy game loading.
Shut up with your legacy games. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is just that the Cowboys defense is so good, but I feel like this would be the game that they would overlook a team because they were just in a fight against the Texans.
I don't know. I don't even know if they're overlooking. I just don't think they're good.
Who?
The Cowboys defense,
No, in general, I'm just not sure the Cowboys are like. They've not been playing well the last couple of weeks.
dog.
I think
Yeah,
they dropped like 54 on the Colts.
They dropped 33 in the fourth quarter. You can't tell me it was because the offense was so elite that they dropped 33 points in the fourth quarter.
They did put up 40 against the Vikings.
The Vikings the Vikings don't look good either.
But then
I'm just wondering if the Cowboys are really like that, and I don't think they are.
Oh, I would love the Cowboys to not be like that. I would love to watch them crash and burn. But they do look kind of legit.
So the Cowboys were in a dogfight with the Colts until they scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. And 43? That's the number? 33 points in the fourth quarter, which, again, I'm not saying it's not good. I kind of refuse to believe that was all on. I didn't watch the game. Matt Ryan had 3 interceptions. I guarantee you 2 of those came in that fourth quarter against the Dallas Cowboys. I also do not think that's probably from the defense. I think that's just because Matt Ryan is not good anymore. The Colts had more passing yards than the Cowboys that game. They had, on paper, it doesn't look really like the Colts had more time of possession. The Colts lost 2 fumbles and they turned the ball over 5 times that game.
Yeah, you're just not going to win.
You're just not going to win the game like that. So I'm not really sure this Colts game is a good reflection of how good the Cowboys are. Then they proceeded to only beat the Giants by 8 points in a game that really hung around for a while, and there was no reason for that game to hang around for a while.
That was a Dable masterclass.
Yeah. They did destroy the Vikings, which was kind of impressive.
Was that 1 p.m. Kirk?
Yeah, I think so. No, wait, maybe Night Kirk. I'm not sure. But anywho, I'm not really sure the Cowboys. I think they're a good team, but with these recent wins and they lost to the Packers, they had that game against the Bears. I'm not sure the Cowboys are playing that well right now, and I think they're going to go into Jacksonville and they're going to lose the game.
I hope they do.
It was indeed not a 1 p.m. Kirk masterclass.
It was a 3:25.
Yeah,
Kirk.
or 4:25.
Yeah. So that's a tough game. Jaguars needed to stay alive, and they can. The Titans are playing like trash, so they can really elevate themselves in that position. And the Cowboys need this game because they want the 2 seed. And I think if you're the Cowboys, you don't want to fall to the 4 seed or something. Wait, no, they can't.
Cowboys can't get the 2
Yeah,
seed.
they can't. You're right. So you're gonna end up playing the Eagles in the second round anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but ideally, maybe it's in the best interest of the Cowboys to lose so they can avoid the Eagles in the beginning stages. Because then you're gonna get the Bucs in the first round.
What?
He's talking about positioning for the playoffs, so you get absolutely murdered.
They're gonna go out there. They're gonna try to win the game.
Well, I'm just saying I'm saying long term. I'm a long term thinker.
Well, I'm saying long term. Why wouldn't you want to play your division rival in the playoffs and beat them?
Well, because then at least you can be we made the NFC Championship before you lose to the Eagles.
What?
But then,
because if the Cowboys were on the other side of the bracket,
but then why wouldn't you want to go to the NFC Championship game and beat the Eagles?
Well, because they can't beat the Eagles. So
well, they're not thinking like that, you idiot.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying what they should do. I'm not saying that they should lose the game on purpose. I'm saying
if the Cowboys beat the Eagles in the playoffs, I cannot wait to go back to this recording. I cannot wait.
Well, I'm also a Cowboys fan, so really,
true.
It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But that's a big game. It'll be exciting to watch. And then, of course, the biggest game of the week: Giants versus the Commanders.
That is the biggest game.
It is.
It got flexed to primetime.
Yeah.
I'm downloading FanDuel and I'm betting it's going to end in a tie.
Oh, you can bet now.
You can bet now.
You want me to be your bookie?
That is illegal.
I'm kidding. We don't do anything like that.
This is purely satire.
Yes.
This is a joke.
This is a joke. Okay. Anyway.
As we did for the NBA last time we recorded, I wanted to talk about the MVP race a little bit. The big players
right now.
Joel Embiid is the
I'm talking about football.
Oh, I thought you were talking about basketball.
No, I'm talking about football. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow.
It's still Mahomes.
Mahomes?
It's my order right now. It's Mahomes, Hurts, Burrow.
Yeah, okay, that's my
Allen
order
fell
still.
off that.
Yeah.
That's my order right now.
Because I think Hurts is having a great season, but Mahomes is the Chiefs.
Yes. that is it.
People have been saying it, and some people have been pushing back a little bit. I think former football players are more in favor of Jalen winning it. The Eagles are so much better than that Chiefs team.
Yeah,
much better.
The thing is, you can look at Jalen Hurts not having a great game, and the defense will just stop the other game.
Yeah.
But you look at Mahomes, it's always up to him to bail his team out, and he does it consistently.
Yeah, and I just think across the board, other people have done this, Nick Wright did this on his show, but the Eagles have a better offensive line, they have a better running back, they have better receivers. The only person they don't have better than is a tight end, but the Eagles also have a really good tight end when he's healthy.
Yeah,
And the Eagles have better defense.
Yeah.
And I don't know about special teams,
But, like,
besides that, like the Eagles just outright have a better team.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are doing well. Now, if the Chiefs lose another game, I think it goes right to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Because 3
What's
losses.
the rest of their schedule?
I think if the Chiefs lose and Mahomes has a bad game, because if he lights it up and the defense just like doesn't.
I mean,
like,
last
do
game
their
against
job.
the Broncos. Well, the Broncos defense is good, so I won't go crazy. Down
Also, they were up
there.
27-0. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see.
just like they kind of let off the
Oh,
gas. That's more.
Good lord, the Texans.
No, Chiefs had the hardest schedule in the beginning. Like, look at some of their schedule in the beginning of the year. They're playing like all these playoff teams,
Yeah,
like
literally.
from like last year.
All
And it
right,
was,
let's look. Not a playoff team.
well, you gotta say them out loud. They don't.
Oh, Cardinals, not a playoff team. Chargers.
Well, they were
I think they're still-
last year. That was
The
the
Cardinals
first game of
were.
the season. We didn't even know what the Cardinals were going to look
Are
like.
the Chargers in the hunt still, or
They're gonna
Chargers.
they're playing really well. Yeah,
Okay.
they're in the hunt.
when the Colts beat them? I'll say that's a fluke game.
That was a fluke game. Yeah, that was just close turnaround.
Buccaneers 41-31. That was pre-divorce Brady. Let's see.
Raiders was supposed to be good at this point.
But
Yeah.
to be fair, that's like saying when Eagles Cowboys game ends in like kind of like a win like that against 1 point. It's like division rival.
Oh, right, they're division rivals. Never mind.
So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
That
sit
doesn't
it for
really
like
matter.
that. Like,
yeah,
that
Bills
score.
lost. That was just a close
Yeah.
game. That was a great game by the Bills defense.
That one.
The people forget in that game that like Patrick Mahomes had the ball left with a minute and a half left. Like
Yeah.
they could have just gone right down and scored and won the
Yeah.
game outright again. So
Yeah,
like that's like a
He
one.
threw a bad pick,
See,
but it's
Yeah.
okay.
barely beating the Titans.
Beat the
This game was
Jaguars.
closer than I think the score said.
I mean, 10 points is a pretty comfortable win.
I think it was like a little closer.
Oh, yeah.
like until the fourth. Yeah, they traded. Wait,
No, they beat the Chargers
They
twice,
swept the
Oh, they
Chargers.
did.
which is
Oh wait, they
which is
yeah,
impressive.
Ram.
Yeah,
Well, I'm saying now their schedule's easy.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has yet to beat Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
But,
Joe
but
Shiesty
now they have the
there.
Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos, and Raiders. Should be an easy end of the
Yeah.
year.
I'm thinking, I don't know. My man Gino.
No, the
Seahawks
Seahawks
are
have fallen
on the
off.
decline.
Oh,
They're
they are?
they're gonna fall off. It was a nice run while they had it. And now they're just losing draft
Yeah,
capital.
Gino MVP race. I don't think is.
Yeah.
Because like it's like he's good, but like the team isn't.
Oh, I wasn't saying Gino MVP race. I was
Well,
just
no,
thinking
but that's
Gino-
the whole thing is that it was like, oh, the Seahawks are so good.
I was thinking Gino legacy game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks still absolutely won that trade, by the way. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
very clear, but
Mhm.
Broncos country. Let's cry.
Yep.
Let's
All right.
die.
This episode is a little longer than I thought it was going to go, so I'm going to kind of skip over the NBA content and go right to the Brittany Griner.
Oh
Trade
Drama,
lost
drama.
the trade, but
Shut
but-
up.
No, but that is the meme going around. But in all seriousness, there was no way we were going to get a better deal or anything.
There's been a lot of talk going around about like, of course, the sports media is going around talking a lot about like how this trade is funny because like, oh, like put this in NBA terms, and people are like, oh, we traded around a first round player for like a 6th round pick, whatnot. Like those are funny, but I think the bigger note is I've been hearing a lot of like political discourse about like Brittany Griner like coming home and how like how did like Joe Biden, how did the people like
In office.
office not take home a Marine from Russia? And I want to make it very clear, like if anyone actually thinks that like
Russia was going to let
the,
that Marine
the,
walk.
the government, that the
Yeah.
United States government thought that Brittany Griner was more important to bring home than like the Marine, or that like this was like that they should have pushed harder for another deal. You're like absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Like
Putin was not going to listen to anything. He's like, yeah, you have your basketball player back. I want the Merchant of Death.
yeah, and we're talking about it here because it falls into sports, but like the fact of the discourse is that like especially like by really like right wing Republicans, like oh my god, I can't believe they did this. Like this is ridiculous. They valued this basketball player. No, like people
They took what they could get.
people who like people like Putin who are declaring unjust wars on other countries right now are not just going to trade the
let's give you the
Marine
Marine back.
the Marine they're holding for like they're not going to do that kind of swap.
They're
Like
literally using the Marine as a token during the war. Like I don't know why people are like, oh, like I don't know why they tried to. They're not going to let that guy walk because guess what? Oh, we got a Marine that we're holding.
and there's other stuff about what the Marine did that maybe is like sus, but besides that, like just the fact that like people aren't appreciating that, you know what, Brittany Griner, who's one of the better WNBA basketballs, is back home and will eventually be back on the court for the WNBA, and people are just sort of like trying to take that and be like, oh, but what could we have gotten instead? As if it's like an actual trade where it's like we just got someone who from the United States of America who's being held unjustly in Russia, and we should be celebrating that versus being like, oh, why did the administration XYZ not bring this person home? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of discussions trying to bring home other people
Yeah.
from that
And
country.
My only thing is that like I wish we didn't give up like literally our biggest token
Yeah.
of the Merchant of Death, where if you guys actually don't know, the Nicolas Cage movie Lord of War was actually made on him. Like that's the guy.
Huh.
So yeah, and of course everybody's like, oh well, now like Putin wanted this guy back. He's an arms dealer. It's like, where do you think he was stealing all of those weapons from?
Yeah.
He was stealing them from Russia.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to go aid the Russian government.
Yeah.
If anything, he's gonna get thrown into gulag.
He's also one person.
Yeah, he's also
Like,
one guy.
Like he's not gonna single-handedly wage war on the United
he's
States
going
of
to
America.
turn the tide of the war in Ukraine. Where is he getting the weapons from?
Yeah.
What, Russia? That's where he's been getting them from.
I'm also 99% sure he's gonna end up in prison in
He's
Russia
probably
somehow.
just going to get shot in the back of the head
Yeah.
somewhere.
So just wanted to point that out on the sports list. 'Cause I've just been seeing so much discourse about it. I'm just like, it's kind of unbelievable that we can't just appreciate that. Like, someone is home who's a big sports figure and appreciate that.
Because there is valid reasons to discuss it. And there are pros, cons, everything. But the immediate jump to it doesn't matter that we got a U.S. citizen out of Russia is absurd.
Yeah. So I think that'll conclude this week in sports. If you like what we talk about, make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe. We post these episodes every week, so stay tuned. We'll kind of follow the NBA and NFL season as it comes out and have Super Bowl previews, playoff previews, and whatnot. So if you like what you saw, drop a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on This Week in Sports.